Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Manitoba Start is the leading provider of career services for newcomers in the province of Manitoba and connects businesses to a world-class workforce. I would like to welcome you all to this Spotlight webinar, a series of live broadcasted events designed to assist you in entering the Manitoba labor market. Manitoba Start acknowledges that we are gathered on Treaty 1 territory, the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Anishinaabe, Dakota Oyere, Denisolene, and Nihilewig nations, and the homeland of the Red River Métis. We acknowledge that our water is sourced from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation. As a newcomer serving organization, we commit to learning about the histories, cultures, and rights of the Indigenous communities, to strive to build a respectful and supportive relationship for all. Today's webinar is Spotlight on Internationally Educated Nurses, Navigating Nursing Pathways in Manitoba. My name is Vasil. I'm an outreach coordinator here at Manitoba Start, and I will be your host for today's webinar. Given a large number of participants who joined this webinar, we have muted your microphones to allow for better clarity and less interference. Before we begin, I will be going over a couple of housekeeping items. You can raise your hand feature. You can use the raise hand feature to indicate that you have a question or a comment. To do this, you can click on the participants button in the meeting controls. Find the raise hand icon next to your name and click on it. This will notify that we have a raised hand. Teams webinar provide a Q&A feature that allows attendees to ask questions specifically in the Q&A panel. To access this, click on the More options, the three-dot button in the meeting controls, and select Q&A. You can then type your questions in the Q&A panel. Before I introduce our presenters for today, I would like to run a few polls to get to know you better. So right now, I'm going to be sharing the polls, and you will be able to see them on your screen. Just give me one moment, please. All right. So the first poll is asking you, are you registered with Manitoba Start? You can see there are two options. You can say yes or no, and then click submit. All right, I see some answers coming in. Give you one more moment. Okay, so it seems like we have a 2080 situation. Oh, 2575. Okay, 25% say that they are registered with Manitoba Start, they are clients, and 75% they said no, which is great because you will get to learn a lot of new information. Right, thank you. Let's move to our second poll for today. And this poll is asking you, do you need help with resume, cover letter, or interview preparation? Again, there are two options to choose from, yes and no, and then click submit. Just one more moment to get to hear your answers. All right, so it's like, seems like 33% of respondents said that they do need help with resume, and 67 said they are pretty self-sufficient, which is great. Fantastic, thank you. And let's go to the third poll that is asking you, where are you joining us from? Which is much more interesting. Is it Northern Manitoba? Is it Southern Manitoba? Is it Winnipeg? Or probably you're joining us outside Canada? Hmm? Oh yeah, I thought so. I knew that somebody would be outside Canada. We have 8% of people present here are outside of the country. The majority is 75% are in Winnipeg. 13% are from Southern Manitoba, and 4% are joining us from the north, which is fantastic. Thank you. And the final poll for today, just give me one more second. The final poll for today is asking you the reason you're attending this webinar. Are you an international educated professional, settlement worker, career coach, or maybe you fall under the other category? Please submit your answers. All right. We have 57% international educated professionals, which is fantastic because this session is exactly for them. 4% are settlement workers, 12% are career coaches, and almost 30% are other. Right, and I see some responses are coming in the chat as well, and many of them are internationally trained professionals, which is fantastic. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for your answers, and it's great to see some interaction. That's awesome. So today's webinar features 3 agencies. We have Manitoba Start, we have Healthcare Recruitment and Retention Office with Shared Health, and National Nursing Assessment Services, or shortly known as NNAS. In this session, you will hear directly from experts about credential recognition and licensing, career support and settlement resources, and employment opportunities. The first presenter for today will be Manitoba Start. Manitoba Start connects newcomers to employment and settlement services in Manitoba. They offer career development programs, support in navigating the foreign credential recognition process, and job matching services. The Healthcare Recruitment and Retention Office has been established by the Manitoba government to attract and retain skilled healthcare professionals from across Manitoba, Canada, and internationally. The office works to connect applicants with meaningful career opportunities with Manitoba's healthcare system and provide support to resources to navigate a simplified, efficient hiring experience. Whether applicants are seeking a new role, career growth, or a fresh start in the province of Manitoba, they are here to help. The National Nursing Assessment Services, or NNAS, is the first step for internationally educated nurses seeking to become licensed in Canada. NNAS provides a trusted and efficient credentialing services by collecting and verifying international nursing credentials. They share accurate, verified information with nursing regulatory bodies to support fair and informed licensing decisions. With over a decade of experience, NNAS is proud to be a reliable and established guide. The process is designed to be simple, fast, and safe, helping internationally educated nurses move forward with confidence on their path to nursing in Canada. And now, to open our event, it is my honor to welcome Crystal DeRosier, a senior advisor to the Deputy Minister of Labor and Immigration for the province of Manitoba, to deliver the opening remarks. Crystal, over to you.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here today. I can't see any of you, which I'm not used to, but I'm glad to be here. I just wanted to give a little bit of a context of why we're here today and why I'm here today. When the new government was put in place in October 2023, there's about 3 departments that received the mandate to improve pathways for internationally educated health professionals, starting with nurses and doctors. So labor and immigration was one of the departments among 4 that began to work together for just that, to improve pathways to licensure. So we've been working since then. We have a committee of individuals from each of those departments that have been working together to advance that. So we're really pleased with some of the work that we've been able to do so far. And thank you again to Manitoba Start and HCRRO and NNAS for being here to be part of that conversation. And I'm looking forward to hearing more today. So thank you and welcome. And I look forward to hearing more from everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Thank you very much for the opening remarks. And with that said, let's welcome our first speaker for today, which is Sonia Hintz, the Career Services Manager from Manitoba Start. Sonia, over to you. Sonia, you're muted.
My apologies. Thank you, Vasil. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I will be providing an overview of Manitoba Start pre-arrival and post-arrival services. At Manitoba Start, we offer pre-arrival services in partnership with Settlement Online Pre-Arrival Services, SOPA, which is a national program that supports individuals approved for permanent residency who are still living outside of Canada. Services include orientation sessions that provide valuable information about the settlement process in Manitoba and key supports available upon arrival. Clients can access one-on-one employment counseling, support with foreign credential recognition, including referrals to key partners such as the National Nursing Assessment Services. Clients also can access self-directed online courses such as job search strategies and Canadian workplace integration courses. SOPA also provides post-arrival follow-up services, helping clients connect with Manitoba Start and access ongoing support upon arrival in the province. In addition to SOPA, Manitoba Start is also a provincial advisor with Planning for Canada, assisting newcomers in preparing for their move, settlement, and employment. We regularly collaborate with Planning for Canada to deliver webinars focused on employment in Manitoba. These sessions are listed on the Manitoba Start's event page. Manitoba Start is the first point of contact for post-arrival services for newcomers entering the province. We offer centralized registration, employment support to help you settle and find meaningful work. We actively connect Manitoba employers with qualified candidates who are job ready and eager to contribute to the local workforce. Our services are organized into 4 key areas: centralized intake. Every client will go through a needs assessment and registration process to ensure appropriate referrals to programs and services. Career services. We offer personalized career coaching, employment readiness workshops, and guidance on credential recognition. Job matching unit. We help connect clients with employers through events and job opportunities that match their skills, experience, and goals. And our business programs, we offer employer-focused programming to promote inclusive hiring and workplace integration. I will be providing more details about these services in the following slides. As mentioned, the first step is to book an appointment with intake. In the meeting, an intake advisor will conduct a needs and assets assessment and referral services. Intake advisors will discuss a person's career goals, review their education, training, and employment experience, provide referrals to the Winnipeg English Language Assessment Center and other language services, provide them with contact information for their settlement agency in their neighborhood, make appropriate referrals for free services from other organizations, and at the end of the meeting, they will receive a personalized settlement plan. Our free services are for newcomers 18 years and older. Our eligibility includes provincial nominees, permanent residents, temporary residents, including work permit and study permit holders, refugee claimants, spouse and common law, and Canadian citizens who identify as newcomers. This includes naturalized citizens, those born in Canada but raised abroad, and foreign-born children of Canadian citizens. Once a client is registered, they can access our full range of career service programs. Our certified career coaches support newcomers, including IENs, with career planning, foreign credential recognition, one-on-one career coaching, resume support, and they deliver specialized workshops, including LinkedIn for networking for job search and Canadian workplace culture. The Career Development Workshop is designed to support internationally educated nurses as they prepare to re-enter Manitoba's healthcare workforce. In this workshop, clients will identify their short and long-term goals based on their nursing experience and qualifications from their home country. They will explore healthcare career pathways, gain insights into Manitoba healthcare labor market, learn practical tools, strategies to navigate the job market more effectively. Clients will also develop a personalized career and education plan tailored to their goals. Clients will also create a targeted resume using the Manitoba Start job scan tool, which helps ensure resumes meet applicant tracking system standards that are used by some healthcare employers. This workshop runs for 5 consecutive days, with each session lasting 3 hours and is available both virtually and in-person formats. In addition to our workshops, we offer individualized one-on-one career coaching services. Our career coaches work closely with each client to guide them through every stage of their employment journey. This includes helping clients develop targeted professional resumes tailored to healthcare roles, write effective cover letters, and help prepare for interviews. Once a client is job ready, they are referred to our job matching unit for potential employment opportunities, including direct referrals, invitations to hiring fairs. As part of our career coaching services, the client's assigned career coach will follow up regularly with them to help address any questions or concerns related to their job search, and they will offer practical tips for integrating successfully into the workforce. Career coaching sessions are flexible, typically lasting 30 to 60 minutes based on the individual's needs, and are available virtually or in person. As part of our career service programs, we offer foreign credential recognition sessions designed specifically for internationally educated professionals in regulated fields such as nursing. These virtual sessions provide clients with an overview of the licensing and registration pathways in Manitoba. We provide information on the IEN in Manitoba program, relevant training and upgrading options, and alternative career opportunities within the healthcare sector. Clients will also have the opportunity to schedule a personalized meeting with the Foreign Credential Recognition Navigator, offering one-on-one guidance tailored to the person's needs. During the FCR Navigator meeting, clients receive personalized support that begins with a review of their international credentials, individual circumstances. The Navigator will provide clear and detailed information about the appropriate registration and licensing pathways. They identify potential barriers and outline the necessary steps to move forward. The FCR Navigator will assist eligible clients with completing the IEN in Manitoba program intake form and make a referral to the Shared Health Employment Navigator. Once registered in the portal, the Shared Health Employment Navigator connects with the client to offer more in-depth guidance on the pathway to licensure. This support may include referrals to healthcare-specific language training and bridging programs. Throughout the entire process, our FCR Navigator will continue to provide wraparound support, including ongoing follow-up and check-ins, provide additional resources, invitations to industry networking events, webinars, training opportunities, and continued support with employment planning. I would also like to mention that we offer a range of free self-guided resources available on our website. One of our resources is our collection of foreign credential recognition guides. These detailed guides help you understand your licensing requirements, explore alternate careers, and identify training options in Manitoba. We also have job search resources available. These tip sheets cover essential topics like resume writing, interview preparation, all tailored to the Manitoba labor market. To support your career planning, we also provide links to labor market information resources. These help you stay informed about in-demand occupations, wages, industry trends, and local job opportunities across Manitoba. Together, these resources serve as a powerful toolkit that you can access 24/7, whether you're just getting started or actively looking for work. As mentioned earlier, once a client is job ready, they gain access to our job matching unit. This is a specialized service that connects internationally educated professionals with employment opportunities in Manitoba. Our team of certified job developers work directly with employers to understand their workforce needs and actively match skilled newcomers to suitable roles. Job matching services include direct referrals to employers for open positions, interview preparation to ensure clients present their best selves, access to hiring events and information sessions, and access to our online job board featuring over 300 active job postings. The job matching unit offers tailored supports to internationally educated nurses, including live webinars with Manitoba healthcare regulators and sector partners, networking events with local employers, speed mentoring sessions where clients can practice job search skills, receive feedback, and make meaningful industry connections. Listed here on the screen are just some of the healthcare employers who have participated in Manitoba Start events. So we have the 3 nursing regulatory bodies: Shared Health, Health Science Center, Misericordia Health Center, Prairie Mountain Health Authority, St. Boniface Hospital, Deer Lodge Center, and so many more. These collaborations reflect our strong partnerships across the healthcare sector and our shared commitment to helping internationally educated nurses build meaningful, successful careers here in Manitoba. At Manitoba Start, we are proud to support IENs as they navigate their pathway to employment and licensure in Manitoba. For the moment that you arrive, our team is here to guide you through your career planning, your credential recognition, job search support, and direct employer connections. Our services are designed to meet you where you are, whether you're preparing before arrival, exploring your licensing options, or ready to apply your skills in the workforce. So we encourage you to stay connected with us on our Facebook and LinkedIn pages to stay updated on events and programs. Subscribe to our monthly newsletter as well. And of course, for more information, please feel free to contact us either by phone, email, or visit us in our office in downtown Winnipeg. And I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have at the end of this webinar. I would like to now introduce you to our next presenter, Sonia Sharp from Employment Navigator with Shared Health, Healthcare Retention, and Recruitment. Over to you, Sonia.
Thank you, Sonia Hintz. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sonia Sharp, and I am a registered nurse working as an employment navigator with the Healthcare Retention and Recruitment Office at Shared Health. In my role, I support internationally educated nurses, or IENs, as they work through the licensure process and transition into the Manitoba healthcare system. We understand that this journey can be complex, involving multiple steps, timelines, and regulatory bodies. To support you through this, the Government of Manitoba has developed the Manitoba IEN program. Today, I'll be sharing key information about the program, including eligibility criteria, types of financial and career support available, and a general overview of the steps you'll take to become licensed and employed as a nurse here in Manitoba. The Manitoba IEN program is a Government of Manitoba-led initiative created to reduce barriers and provide comprehensive support for internationally educated nurses. This includes funding for eligible expenses and one-on-one guidance throughout the licensure process. The goal is to help internationally educated nurses move forward with greater clarity and confidence. Here in Manitoba, we recognize 3 distinct nursing professions: licensed practical nurses, or LPNs, registered nurses, or RNs, and registered psychiatric nurses, or RPNs. Each profession is regulated by its own licensing body, which is responsible for evaluating applications and granting registration to practice in Manitoba. It's important to note that the Manitoba IEN program is specifically for individuals who have trained as nurses outside of Canada. Those who've trained in other health professions such as midwifery, physicians, or pharmacists are not eligible for this program. However, there are other supports or programs available to assist those professionals in their own licensure pathways. Currently, our team includes 3 employment navigators: myself, Corey Sigurdsson, and Harleen Seacon. We all come from a nursing background, and we understand the professional environment that internationally educated nurses will be entering here in Manitoba. As employment navigators, we're your first point of contact. Once you complete your online portal submission, we will receive the submission, and after reviewing your information, we'll schedule a one-on-one call with you to help you develop a personalized plan towards licensure. Our role involves several key areas of support. First, we help determine your eligibility for funding through the Manitoba IEN program. Second, we provide individual guidance, helping you understand the licensure pathways available to you and connecting you with the right tools and resources based on your specific needs. We also support you in navigating the licensure process, which may include advising on and helping coordinate credential assessments, required training or coursework, applications to regulatory bodies, and preparation for testing. As navigators, we stay current on changes to policies, regulations, and requirements, and we make sure you receive the most up-to-date information as things evolve. In addition to this, we act as your advocate, supporting you throughout your journey, answering your questions, and addressing any concerns you might have. And finally, once you've completed the licensure process, we help you with employment search, guiding you in finding job placements within the Manitoba healthcare system that are a right fit for your qualifications and your personal goals. Now, moving on to the eligibility criteria for the Manitoba IEN program. To be eligible for support through the program, there are a few key requirements that must be met. First, you must be a permanent resident or a Canadian citizen. Second, you must be living in Manitoba and provide proof of a Manitoba address. Third, you must hold a nursing degree or diploma from another country. 4, you cannot be licensed as a nurse in another Canadian province. This program is specifically for individuals who have not gained their license in Canada as a nurse. And finally, you must have completed an English language assessment with scores demonstrating a Canadian language benchmark of 7 or higher. Alternatively, we will accept a language attestation form if you currently work for a recognized healthcare organization. Now, with this eligibility criteria, you will be eligible for, again, funding and navigational support. So some of the eligible costs that you can expect to be reimbursed for are language testing fees, the NNAS and regulatory application fees, any criminal record checks or adult and child abuse checks, the clinical competency assessment fees, and tuition for any required courses for bridging or gap training. The funding is designed to reduce the financial burden that many internationally educated nurses face as they work towards their licensure here in Manitoba. Now, it's important to understand that there are 2 different criteria for funding. One for the for language, one for funding and one for regulatory bodies. So in order to provide safe and competent care in Manitoba, nurses must be able to read, write, listen, and speak English proficiently. It's important to know that the language requirements are different for funding and for licensure. As I've already discussed, for funding, we require a CLB of 7, which can be obtained through WellArc. We also accept an IELTS General if you have a recent IELTS General. For licensure, the regulatory bodies do require a higher level of proficiency. And this is a condition to become licensed. Now, it can often be met through completing an English language test. So it could be a CELBAN, IELTS Academic, IELTS General for LPN, occupational English test. It can be a proof of completing your nursing education in English or a language attestation from a recognized Manitoba Health employer. The criteria is all listed on the regulatory body's website, so it's important that you take some time to understand how you can meet the language proficiency. So just to reiterate, while a CLB of 7 allows access to funding, you may need to meet additional language requirements for licensure as outlined by the regulatory body. Now, moving into what you can expect to complete while you're going through the licensure pathway. On the slide, this is a general overview of the common steps of the standard pathway. Recently, there was an expedited pathway introduced for individuals from designated countries, and the countries are listed on the slide. If you are from one of those countries, one of the employment navigators can discuss the specifics around licensure from those countries. Today, I'm going to go through the steps of the standard pathway. Now, costs and timelines are going to vary. A standard pathway can range from 4,500 to 10,000 Canadian and can take several months or longer to complete. These are, however, only estimates and could change based upon your specifics. It's always important to review the organization's website for the most up-to-date information. The first step is going to be applying to NNAS. Today, we have a representative from NNAS who's going to provide more details on the process and how to obtain your NNAS advisory report. Once your NNAS advisory report is available, your next step is to apply to the regulatory body. This could be the College of Registered Nurses, the College of Licensed Practical Nurses, or the College of Registered Psychiatric Nurses. And you may also be required to submit additional documentation. It could vary from background checks, identification, proof of registration or licensure, employment verification, but this is something that as a navigator, we would assist you with navigating. The regulator will assess your application and determine if you meet the requirements for licensure. You may be allowed to proceed directly to registration. However, if you don't meet the requirements, you may be referred for assessment or education. The assessment is called the Clinical Competency Assessment, and it tests your clinical knowledge, skills through exams and simulations. Based upon your results, you may be referred to bridging education or supervised practice. Before you start any bridging program, you will need to meet the language requirements that I previously discussed for the regulator, and that is outlined on their websites. Once the clinical competency assessment has been completed, you will receive a recommendation from the regulator outlining whether you need to complete bridging or gap training and what specific courses you would need to take. The program duration is going to vary because it is individualized and dependent upon your assessment results. To give you an idea, if you were referred for the LPN Bridging Program, the Practical Nursing Qualification and Recognition Program, it is about 18 weeks at Assiniboine College. For the Registered Nurse Pathway, the Nurse Reentry Program at Red River College, you're looking at around 12 months for completion. Once the required bridging or gap training has been completed, you will have to complete the licensing exam, which is the NCLEX for RNs, the CPNRE for LPNs, or the RPNCE for RPNs. If you've previously passed the exam, you may not need to retake it. And finally, the last step would be applying for your registration. After passing the exam, filling all the requirements, you can apply for the registration of the chosen regulatory body. Once approved, you'll be licensed to practice and eligible to begin working as a nurse here in Manitoba. So if you're interested in registering for the program and speaking with one of our employment navigators to discuss your specific licensure pathway, you can find the intake form online through the Manitoba Health website, which you can see there, www.gov.mb.ca/health. Or I have a QR code which takes you directly to the form. I encourage you to scan the QR code. Once you've completed the intake form, an employment navigator will typically contact you within 24 to 48 hours to schedule a one-on-one call with you. Additionally, if you have general questions and you're unsure whether you want to move forward, please don't hesitate to reach out to one of our employment navigators. The email address provided above, Nurse Employment Navigator at sharedhealthmb.ca is available. One of our employment navigators is monitoring this box to provide you with answers to your questions. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Tavia Hobbs, Senior Operations Equality, Diversity, and Inclusion Lead at the National Nursing Assessment Service. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Sonia. Good afternoon, everybody. I first off want to thank Manitoba Start for allowing me the opportunity to provide a bit more information on the NNAS process. So Once again, my name is Tavia Hobbs, and I am the Senior Operations and EDI Lead for NNAS. On behalf of NNAS, I look forward to presenting on starting IENs on their journey to nursing practice in Canada. During the last part of the webinar, during this webinar, we will discuss the following items: an introduction to NNAS, followed by a brief review of the Canadian nursing regulatory bodies and nursing designations, a review of the NNAS application process, and later on in this presentation, we will review some tips and strategies to help you successfully complete your NNAS application. For those of you already in the NNAS process, please do not provide any personal information such as your NNAS ID in the Q&A or chat box. Should you have any questions, please email NNAS directly so that we can assist you. Contact information will be provided at the end of this presentation. So the National Nursing Assessment Service, better known as NNAS, is a non-for-profit organization established in 2012 by Canadian nursing regulators to create a unified pan-Canadian credentialing service. NNAS has been proudly serving clients since 2014. We provide a consistent approach to collecting, verifying, and storing documents that all nursing regulatory bodies in Canada, excluding Quebec, Yukon, Nunavut, and the Northwest Territories. NNAS does not grant licenses to practice nursing, but we do provide the assessment services that will result in a record called an advisory report, or AR, that will go to the nursing regulatory bodies in the provinces that you choose. NNAS does not have a role in making decisions about licenses. Only nursing regulatory bodies have the authority to decide whether an application is successful. The regulatory bodies will review your credentials and all other information gathered to determine what your next steps will be in the licensing process. So this slide is just to provide you with a high-level overview of the full nursing journey in Canada and the stakeholders that will be a part of your journey, such as nursing regulatory bodies, educational bridging programs, and employers. Internationally educated nurses wanting to practice in Canada must be registered with the regulatory body in the jurisdiction, province, or territory where they plan to practice. Canada has 26 nursing regulatory bodies, with several provinces having more than one nursing regulatory body. Each regulatory body is separate from one another to accommodate the different nursing designations. Unlike other countries, Canada does not have one national regulatory system. Rather, each province and each regulator has their own unique regulatory system in place set up to protect the Canadian public they serve. In addition, being licensed to practice nursing in one province or one regulatory body does not mean that you can practice in a different designation or province without first going through that province's rigorous licensing process. So I included this slide to provide you with a complete list of the regulatory bodies and provinces NNAS has the privilege to serve. When an IEN starts the application process, they first have to decide in which Canadian province they wish to live and work. In this case, you all have chosen Manitoba, and so we will focus on the designations available in the province of Manitoba for you to consider what you qualify for. As you can see, Manitoba has 3 regulatory bodies serving the 3 nursing designations available within that province. And when NNAS completes your advisory report, your credentials would be reviewed by these regulatory bodies and decisions will be made on your next steps. In Canada, there are 3 different nursing professions, and NNAS is responsible for doing the assessment of the education and credentials for all 3. There is registered nurse, commonly referred to as RN. This designation is Canada-wide. Next is licensed practical nurse, LPN, or for the provinces of Ontario and Quebec, it's registered practical nurse, RPN, also Canada-wide. The provinces of Western Canada, that would be British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, offer the designation of registered psychiatric nurse, or RPN, which recognizes psychiatric nursing as a specialized form of nursing with specific educational requirements and rigor for that license. So becoming an RN in Canada usually requires a 4-year university program that will lead to a nursing degree. An LPN is a generalist nurse with strong skill set required to work with all types of patients, although their scope of practice is more limited than that of an RN. The LPN in Canada usually requires a 2 to 3 year college program leading to a nursing diploma. The RPN, registered psychiatric nurse, receives a theoretical education and clinical training focused on psychiatric nursing and general nursing. RPN usually requires a 2.5 to 4 year psychiatric focused nursing education at the college or university level. You can learn more about the nursing professions in Manitoba on our website under Provincial Resources section. You would click on the province of Manitoba on our interactive map. So we're going to now focus more on the NNAS application process. Currently, we offer the expedited service and the regular service. Both services were designed to meet the requirements as set by the nursing regulatory bodies of Canada as part of the first steps of your licensing journey. So we'll start off with the regular service, which is our longest standing service. It has been around for approximately 10 years. This service is applicable only for registered psychiatric nursing assessments at this time. To be eligible to apply, applicants must have completed a post-secondary psychiatric nursing education program at the university or college level outside of Canada and never worked as a licensed psychiatric nurse in Canada. For the regular service, applicants are required to submit the nursing education form to their respective nursing educational institutions, along with the official transcript and syllabus, as well as course descriptions, if applicable. Employment forms for all nursing employment positions held during the last 5 years, and the nursing registration form. Once all documents are received, an advisory report will be released within 12 weeks. On average, we do get it done sooner, but the latest it usually is about 12 weeks, depending on when we receive all documentation. The fee is $650 USD, which would roughly be about 880 Canadian. Additionally, nursing regulatory bodies can be selected for additional fees that are under the regular assessment service. So to send an additional advisory report to another regulatory body would be about 55 USD, which would equal to about 75 Canadian. So next we will speak a little bit more about our expedited service, which is our newer service. The expedited service launched at the end of June 2023 and was a result of several years of consultations with various nursing regulatory bodies, IENs, and various other stakeholders, such as educational bridging programs. The goal was to make the process faster and smoother while maintaining the rigor required to maintain the public safety standard. The expedited service is designed to assess RNs and LPNs who have completed a post-secondary nursing education program outside of Canada at the university or college level and have been licensed as a nurse outside of Canada. What makes the expedited process faster is the streamlined set of documents, which allows us to complete and issue advisory reports within 5 days of receiving the final required document. The required documents are a course-by-course assessment report from Immigration, Refugee, and Citizenship Canada, or IRCC, approved provider, as well as we would require your first and current, sometimes they are the same, license, which would then you would submit these forms to the licensing authorities that issued those licenses. This streamlined process allows us to reduce the fee to a cost of 750 Canadian, which would allow for the selection of multiple regulatory bodies that are participating in the expedited service, as well as the 2 designations that are included. So we will go through the 4 easy steps of the NNAS application process. So when an applicant wants to begin their NNAS application, it doesn't matter whether you are doing the regular or expedited service. You will always go to the Apply Login link from the NNAS homepage and create an account. As part of this process, you will be asked to provide an email address as well as read through the terms and conditions. After completing the personal information section and application form, you will be asked to provide credit card information, Visa, which would be paid through Visa, MasterCard, debit cards are not accepted at this time. So step 2, completing your application form. So disclose all information fully. Incomplete or fraudulent information, whether intentional or not, can and will lead to either delays in your application or the cancellation of the application. All required documents must be submitted within a 12-month period or the application will expire. We will require 2 forms of notarized identification, and please note that these are the only documents that can be submitted directly to NNAS by the applicant. We will go through the 8 sections of the application. So first part would be to provide your personal information, and that would include the identification, information, address, and contact details. Section A of the application, disclose all your nursing education information. You will provide us with all nursing diploma and degree programs you have. For the regular service, that will be, you will receive educational forms from your to send to your academic institutions to complete and provide back to us. And for the expedited service, that would be the course by course assessment we would require, and you would provide in this section who will be providing that course by course to us. Section B, disclose the jurisdictions to where you have currently and previously been licensed. For the expedited process, we require first and current, and for the regular process, we will require all jurisdictions within a period of 5 years. Section C, disclose if you have written and passed the NCLEX. It is not required to complete any licensing information to complete the NNAS process. But if you have completed these exams, it does make sense to provide this information to us because sometimes we can waive certain requirements. Section D, disclose your nursing registration status and license conditions in Canada and abroad. Section E, disclose your nursing employment information. This section is mandatory for the regular service, but voluntary for the expedited. It is recommended for the expedited that you self-disclose and your employment information and be prepared and start preparing those documents because regulatory bodies will require some form of proof of practice. For section F, terms and conditions and payments. So once you've completed the application, you will review our terms and conditions, and should you agree, you'll click on and go to the payments section. And once paid, the section G of the application will be made available to you, which will provide you with the forms that you'll need to send off to your respected institutions. They'll fill out those forms and provide the information back to us. So if you have your own transcripts, those cannot be provided to us. It has to come directly from the third parties. So I just include this slide because this is a question that we do get a lot. So NNAS's regular service compares the curriculum submitted by the nursing education program you completed to Canadian entry to practice competencies. This is done using a process called content analysis. This process helps us identify the differences and gaps in your education. Your curriculum will be described as either comparable, somewhat comparable, or not comparable to Canadian entry to practice competencies. Wherever we have determined on your advisory report, it is still recommended that you always provide this report to the regulatory bodies because they are the ones that will make the decision on the report. For the expedited service, we review international curriculums in depth at the country level. The educational reviews are completed by nursing experts who are familiar with Canadian entry to practice competencies. The experts are also familiar with international educated nurses and the value they bring into Canada, which is all taken into consideration when we're reviewing and creating these reports that are made available to the regulators who join the expedited process. And they will use the curriculum level reviews to make their decisions along with the NNAS advisory report. So applicants who will be able to monitor the status of their applications through the application portal. This slide just illustrates an example of what it will look like. And if we are waiting on documentation from you, it will be highlighted in yellow. Some of the common stages that you will see in the application portal are waiting for required items, ready for review, ready for final review, and report issued. And then this slide is just to provide a summary, a sample application of what it looks like when you've completed your application and the requirements that will be asked of you. It will show when documents are waived and when they're still required. If we've had an issue with a document, everything will be updated to you as soon as we are able to provide that. Okay, so for the last part of this presentation, we're just going to go over some tips and strategies. So in terms of when NNAS assessment process should be started, it should be started often usually when you begin the immigration process. It can be very, very helpful to actually start the process before officially immigrating, but absolutely you can do it when you have already arrived. We have a very, very detailed applicant handbooks, which we encourage all applicants to read because it goes even further into depth than what I am providing you right now. You will be responsible for disclosing all information requested and for arranging with third parties to send the documentation to NNAS. So it is recommended that you check to make sure that you can get a hold of your third-party providers, and if you are experiencing difficulties, to let us know as soon as possible, and we will try as well to assist you with getting a hold of them. All documentation must be provided in English. And so then it would be recommended that you look into proper notaries that can do the translations if necessary, if the documents are not in English. We highly recommend that applicants focus on researching the province that they are going to be living in, as it makes it's made all the difference for a lot of people. So always reach out to NNAS directly for questions about the NNAS application. There are a lot of fraudulent organizations that claim to represent us. We do not work with any of the organizations. If you have any questions, please always contact us directly. There are also a lot of resources available to IENs available through the Manitoba government, as well as settlement services through IRCC. You can also review various financial assistance organizations such as Windmill Microlending, just as an example, who is a recognized charity in Canada that provides affordable loans to skilled immigrants and refugees, as well as review post and pre-arrival services, for an example, CARE for nurses, which are dedicated to assisting IENs and resources. Those two organizations I listed are just examples. There are many, many more services that will also assist. So additional assistance, please feel free to use the NNAS Ready to Apply tool, which we just created last year. This tool will help assess, will ask you questions, help assess where you are in the process and if you qualify at the time. It will create a personalized checklist of what you already have and what we will still require to be, you'll still require to be successful in this process. We also offer webinars, like previously recorded webinars in both English and in French, as well as we have videos of IENs who have completed the process. And then, of course, contact information. You are always welcome at any point to reach out to NNAS. We always recommend that you start with the applicant support team, and they usually will get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. If you're having more intense barriers, or if you are concerned you're not hearing back from the support team quick enough, you are always welcome to reach out to the applicant navigator team, but please use that as a second step instead of coming to us first. And that is all that I have for today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tavia. Thank you so much, Sonia's. And I would like to invite our presenters on the screen as we are moving to the final part of our presentation today. This is the Q&A. Right, now we will open it up to the audience. And do we have any questions? Again, please type your questions in the question panel box or raise your hand and we will unmute you so you can ask your question. We welcome both English and French questions, and we will try to get through as many as time permits.
Bonjour à tous, je m'appelle Zena et je suis interprète de français pour Manitoba Start et je suis ici en fait pour vous assister avec toutes vos questions en français. Si vous avez des questions, une fois de plus, comme nous les avons dit, vous pouvez soit taper votre question dans la boîte de dialogue prévue à cet effet, ou bien vous pouvez aussi lever la main et nous activerons votre micro pour que vous puissiez poser votre question. Nous essaierons de répondre autant de questions que le temps nous les permettra. Merci.
Thank you, Zina. Merci. All right, we have one person who raised a hand, Kawal Deep, right? If you have a question, I'm unmuting your right now, Mike, and you are able to, I allowed your mic and you are able to unmute yourself and ask a question. Kawal Deep.
Yes, hi there. So my question is, as another person that, the second person that explained about the language proficiency stuff that we need to submit an exam like IELTS or CELPIP, right? I just want to know, like she said, CLB level 7 in IELTS. Is there a specific CLB level in each module? Like, there's a module listening, writing, reading, and speaking. So we need 7 in in each or just overall 7?
We're looking for an overall of 7. However, if you are below 6 in a specific criteria, we do recommend language classes for you to be successful in the pathway. And we do assist with linking you up with language classes as well.
So in Jan, I've passed the IELTS exam in academics. So I have in listening and reading 7.5 and speaking is a 7, but in writing it's a 6. So I'm not sure it's going to work. And overall is a 7, yes, for sure. So I'm not sure like it will work or not because I have a 6 score in writing.
So I would recommend that you do put in an application, a portal application. So IELTS Academic is different from the IELTS General. So that's definitely something one of our employment navigators can determine with you for eligibility criteria for funding when they have a look at your results.
Okay, so you want me to email directly one of your officer or the person that 101 that do the research 101, right?
Yeah, so I would recommend that you do apply to our Manitoba IN portal, and I can put the link in the chat right away. And then one of the employment navigators can connect with you specifically about your results.
Okay, and I have another question about the VES. Like I'm an international holding a nursing bachelor. So I have we do the VES from World Education System, which is a recognized organization by the IRCC. So we used those documents for the immigration purposes. I was just wondering if NNAS will or IEN also consider those documents for our bachelors as a recognized equivalent to the Canadian studies?
I'll let Tavia maybe answer that question about Wes.
With Wes, do we recognize Wes? Sorry, like, because my internet kind of cut out there.
Yes.
So if you could,
Do you recognize VES?
Yes, we do recognize Wes. Yes.
Okay, so I do have a VES and I have IELTS score CLB level 7. So you mean I'm good to go to proceed my application for the NCLEX exam?
So I can maybe take this. So, and the NCLEX exam is kind of one of the last steps. So our first step is NNAS. I believe, and Tavia, correct me if I'm wrong, to apply to NNAS, you don't require the language proficiency. The language proficiency is specifically for eligibility for funding support in Manitoba.
Okay. So I'll go forward and book the meeting with the 101 with the INC officer, I believe, and then I'll proceed accordingly.
I think that would be the best step, as they'll be able to walk you through step by step what you have to do and when you have to do it.
Thank you. Just one more question. How long does NNAS take to proceed all the steps?
So once you've begun the application process and we receive all documents, we will issue the advisory report within 5 business days for the expedited.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's all.
Thank you, Kawaldeep, for the question. Another note to understand that the levels of IELTS, there are 9 levels. The CLB is 12 levels. So you probably need to Google it. How does your score translate into CLB level? Because probably you already have the CLB 7 or even above. All right. So let's move on to the chat box. The question from Mandeep Randawa, and I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. We have a very diverse audience today. Hi, I would like to ask if we are international education nurse, we can work in healthcare? I don't know who that question is addressed to.
So there are positions in healthcare that are available. You would have to apply to the organization and go through the interview process. In terms of nursing specifically, you do have to hold a registration to practice as a nurse in healthcare prior to working in healthcare.
Okay, thank you. Yep, and any other comments here?
Yes, I'll add to that. Thank you, Vasil. Yes. So we can actually help you identify some stepping stone opportunities within healthcare while you're pursuing licensure. So with our career coaching services, a career coach will work with you to help you identify what those pathways can be while you're working and pursuing the licensure. So there are many opportunities within healthcare for entry-level positions that are non-regulated.
Thank you so much, Sonia. Then we have okay, India says in step 3. I know if you would like to expand on that a little bit, because I don't think that's a complete question, I will move to another one. But if you'd like to expand on your question, please do so. I will read it later. Michelle is asking, will my master's degree matter in terms of how you assess it? And if so, how? Thanks.
Most educational requirements are based off of the bachelor's degree because that's where you'll learn your core competencies. So you can always put all your academic information, but without fully assessing your academics, I wouldn't be able to say to what extent at this moment it will apply, but most of the core and most important information comes from the bachelor programs and obviously diploma programs.
Thank you. We have another comment from Mandy Shu. Yes, same question. Can I have a chance to get a HCA certificate through RPL, recognition of prior learning, as I held a nursing degree in the UK? Many thanks.
Again, we'd have to look into that because we base everything off of the bachelor programs, and every program has its own unique assessment.
Right, thank you. We have a comment from, those are good friends from Red River College. Debbie, hi. Nice. You can check out their language programs in the chat box. Hi to you, Debbie. All right. Moving on, Ruth Lee is asking, thank you, Tavia, for citing Care Center for International Educated Nurses. As of April 1st, we are providing both pre and post-arrival services pass to IENs. Looking forward to working with all presenting organizations in this webinar. Okay, yeah, great. Thank you, Ruth. That's nice. Good comment. All right, another comment from Debbie. All right, Sonia. Yep, those are some links here. All right, what is the process for IENs to apply for a job as a registered nurse in Winnipeg? The question from Bansari.
So the first step would have to be that you do have your registration or licensure with the College of Registered Nurses of Manitoba to be able to apply for jobs. Once you have completed the registration process, the next step is to, you can search for jobs through the Health Careers Manitoba website. If you're part of our program, we can also assist you with job search. So I can put the link in for Health Careers Manitoba, which can link you to registered nurse positions. However, you will be required to have your license or registration to practice as a nurse.
Thank you. Another question from Sheila. If I pass the WELARG, do I still need to take CELBAN?
So you may still need to take CELBAN. So WELARC, we use the WELARC CLB level to assess your eligibility for funding. The regulatory bodies do have specific criteria when it comes to English language requirements. So if you are unable to meet the requirement in another way, you may have to complete a language test such as CELBAN.
Thank you. Question from Margarita. Hello, I understand the support offered is mostly for permanent residents. I'm in the process of completing my GAP training through the CN GAP training. Sorry, maybe that's, yeah, after I took the CCA. However, I'm a temporary resident with work permit expiring soon. Is there any support at linking with possible employers sponsoring? Thanks.
So I would just recommend that you email our employment navigator email. If you do get your nursing license and you have an open work permit, we could look at linking you with the recruiters for shared health to see if there is any opportunities available to you.
Thank you. A comment from Deanna. More than a question, I would like to inform you that although the College of Nurses of Manitoba does not require permanent residency to begin the process of obtaining a license as a registered nurse, Red River College holds the process for applicants who are not permanent residents, thereby interrupting the. Okay, so that is probably the comment for. Yeah. Well, good to know. I don't think we have influence on that direction, in that direction. Okay. Hi, everyone. I would like to ask if we are international nurses and we can match job and how. How can we match jobs? Right, as answered before, Mandeep, my colleague Sonia mentioned already that if you are a resident of Manitoba, even temporary, you can reach out to Manitoba Start as our client. You will be assigned with a career coach who will help you navigate your career path. Okay, all right. Those are comments. Another follow-up question from Sheila. Do I have an option to, oh, sorry. Do I have an option to just only take the NREP and not take CCA?
So this would be based upon the regulator-specific requirements. So the NREP or Nurse Reentry Program is specifically for the registered nurse pathway. So once you have started the process of gaining your licensure and the CRNM has reviewed your application, they would advise you whether you have the option to only take the NREP versus the CCA. So they often will give individuals who are eligible the option between the two.
Thank you. Debbie, I see a comment. I will let you speak at the end when we tackle all the questions, if you don't mind. Now let's move to the Q&A panel because we have some questions over there as well. Okay. The question from the Q&A panel, can I reimburse expenses for applying dual citizenship, a requirement to get the verification board certificate to be submitted to NNAS? Thank you. I read the question the way it is.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
A question regarding funding. Can I reimburse expenses for applying maybe for dual citizenship? This is the requirement to get a verification board certificate to be submitted to NNAS. Thank you.
That one I would have to defer. So we do have, we are partnered with Business Mining Trade and Job Creation. So that once you have your eligibility for funding, that would be something that we can discuss with the career development counselors at BMTJC.
Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Not sure who to ask this question, but do you have any program to assist an IEN in getting a residency or work permit?
There's nothing right now specifically that we have in terms of gaining a work permit at this point.
Thank you. Another one, the question to NNAS, does NNAS advisory report expire?
It does expire. So on our applicant portal, it will be made available for 1 year, but regulators can access it for 2 years.
Thank you. Another one, will these slides be shared via email with participants? Are you able to share the presentations? If not, we this session is recorded and it'll be hosted on our website. And at the end of the presentation, I will show you our website and the webpage you can access to rewatch this webinar. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the. Okay. I would really like to the audience to ask questions in the Q&A, because I don't know if in the chat box you are just chatting between yourselves. That'll be helpful. So please, if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A panel. And in the meantime, I will let people with raised hands to speak up. So the next person who's waiting is Abdul. Abdul, I am allowing your microphone, so you are able to unmute yourself and ask a question. Abdul. Abdul Razak, if you're speaking, please unmute your microphone. Okay, we will move on to the next person with the raised hand, Akko. Okay. Akko, your microphone is allowed.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. So I've got a question for you. So my credentials and certificate and everything has been evaluated by the Board of Nurses of New York State from United States. And like in next couple of weeks, like the next week, I'm going to write the NCLEX exam. And then by the end of the July, I will be a registered nurse with the Board of New York States, right? And I saw the people from some other countries like Australia, New Zealand, and the United States may have another pathway to be a registered nurse. I am not from the United States, but by the end of the July, I would be registered by the Board of Nurses of New York States. Is there any like pathway or some like the way to like transfer my registration to Manitoba, or like any pathway or something?
So with having a license, there are from the US, there is an expedited pathway. However, there's additional requirements that you can find on the College of Registered Nurses in Manitoba website. One of the requirements is recency of practice in the US. So in order to be eligible, one of the requirements is meeting the expedited pathway of 450 hours in the last 2 years, or 1,125 in the last 5 years. I can put a link in the chat for you specifically to the expedited US pathway, and that would be one of the requirements for that. But right now, there's nothing specific in terms of a straight pathway from the US unless you meet that expedited criteria.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was the question.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the question and for the answer, Sonia. Thank you. Now let's move on to another person who's Dania Jose. Right, I'm allowing your microphone. You are able now to unmute yourself and ask your question, please. Dania?
Hi, thank you for allowing me to speak here. I just want to know, actually, I have 15 years of experience. I am diploma in nursing. Mostly I have nearly 8 years in medical oncology department. And then I finished ECA. ICAS already finished. And I already cleared NCLEX. NCLEX exam also finished under Illinois board. Then now I have license in Nova Scotia license also I gained recently. Can I transfer this license to Manitoba?
So that would be a specific question for the College of Registered Nurses of Manitoba. Once you're licensed as a nurse in Canada, unfortunately, you don't meet the eligibility criteria for the Manitoba IEN program. However, I can put the link to CRNM, and you can ask them specifically how to transfer your license over.
Okay, any chance for getting job in especially medical oncology in Manitoba area?
Again, I would just recommend that you go to the Health Careers Manitoba website that I put up there to see if there's any openings in an oncology position.
Oncology. Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you. We have one more person that I will allow the microphone to. And once again, a reminder to the audience, please type your questions in the Q&A panel, not in the chat box, because you're chatting between yourselves and it's hard to sort out the questions and just comments. So please go to the Q&A panel to ask your question. And now the next person who's Melanie, right? I'm allowing your microphone. You can unmute yourself now and ask your question, please.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, regarding English language proficiency tests, I took WELERC and unfortunately got 6 in speaking and writing, while I got 7s in reading and listening. Is it advisable if I only take IELTS General to get 7s in writing, speaking, listening, and reading in order to be eligible to Manitoba IEN funding and pass the criteria in nursing regulatory body? Or I have to pass the IELTS General and also have to pass the CELBAN or OET?
So the way we have our program organized is that after you've done the WELERC, you're referred for language classes. And I think Debbie has been referring to them in the chat. So we do recommend that individuals who do not meet the CLB of 7 go through the language classes to help them increase their language proficiency, at which time at the end of the classes, you do receive updated language scores, and we will use those to determine your eligibility for funding. Additionally, those language classes can help prepare you for the language tests that are required by the regulators.
All right, got it.
Okay.
Thank you. We have a question from the Q&A panel from Laura. Hi, I would like to ask about the regulating body for internationally educated midwives. Any recommendations here?
Sorry, I'm not aware of that information.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Oh yeah, there's another in Q&A. I'm currently working in WRHA and might be able to provide language form. If that's so, do I still need to take CELBAN? Thank you.
That would be specifically up to the regulatory body. They do have a list of organizations that they accept language attestations from, it does have to be from a specific individual in the organization. So it is outlined. However, I do know WRHA is one of those specific employers. You do have to be in a patient-facing position as well. So I can also put in the link, a link to the language policy for CRNM. It does outline the organizations that they accept language attestations from.
Thank you. And I think we have the final question in the Q&A panel. Oh, and the hand. Okay. Please, what's the next step or who to contact for guidelines to practice as a nurse in Manitoba after this webinar? What are the next steps after to start the process? Yeah.
Yeah, so I would recommend that your next step is to put your name into our portal. I did share it. I can share it again. The link to the portal, that's going to give you access to an employment navigator who will be able to start you off, determine your eligibility for funding, but also give you a general overview of the steps that you'll need to take to become licensed and registered to work as a nurse in Manitoba.
Thank you so much. And we are, folks, we are taking the last final question to adhere to our timeline. So from Bansari, you have I'm allowing you a microphone so you can unmute yourself and ask a question. That's the final one for today.
Good afternoon. So my question is, those who have a Manitoba RN license, source that they need to do NRP, or it's optional?
No, so the nurse reentry program is based upon the CRNM's recommendation to individuals who have gone through the IEN pathway here in Manitoba. An individual who has their registered nurse license is like any other registered nurse, like myself, not required to complete the education. You can apply for a position as any RN with an active license.
Okay, and the another question is how you guys help for the resume?
So for individuals who are in our program, they just connect with us, and then we can assist with resumes. But I think on your end, Sonia, you guys, other Sonia.
Yes, please connect with us. We can set you up with either registering you for a career development workshop, which covers resume development and work search and interview skills, or if you prefer to meet with a career coach one-to-one, they will provide you guidance to help you tailor your resume for a specific job opportunity that you're seeking. They will also support you throughout your short-term and your long-term career planning as well.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, both of you.
You're welcome.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And that's a perfect segue into our exit strategy for today's webinar. Thank you, Tavia, and the two Sonias. Thank you so much for your time and your expertise. And if you are not currently a Manitoba Start client, please feel free to visit us, pay us a visit in person or call us. Or if you prefer, if you are out of Winnipeg, you can register online, pre-register online on our website by going to the newcomers tab and register for services. Over here, you will see the eligibility criteria and the pre-register online form. You can do that. If you are outside the country, you can go to For Newcomers tab and Before You Move. So you can go here and you will also be you will have access to get started and register for our pre-arrival services with our partner at SOPA. Once you're in, you will have access to all the career services available to you at no cost, as we are core-funded by the province and by the IRCC as well. You will have access to all the career services, also the job matching services as well. And I encourage you to go to our events page, events calendar, and you will see all the events that we are putting on a monthly basis. Everything here, once again, is free of charge to you. And for those who are asking for the slides, this webinar will be posted on our website under the events page, webinar recordings. So you will be able to access this session through our website. Later on, it'll be posted here, and you will enjoy everything that we have to offer. So on behalf of our distinguished guests and speakers, I would like to thank you all for attending. And again, a big thank you from the entire Manitoba Start team. So have a great day and stay well, everybody.